Welcome you all in this session of the fluid machines. We were discussing the centrifugal pumps. In the last class, we derived the expression for the maximum suction height of the centrifugal pump. The maximum suction height of the centrifugal pump is given by the expression HA minus HV plus Vs square by 2G plus total head loss inside the suction pipe. This was the expression for the maximum suction height. What is the physical significance? Please note, if the suction height is more than what is given by this expression, if the suction height is more than what is, if the available suction height is more than, if available suction height HS is more than what is given by Hmax, then vaporization of the liquid would take place. Vaporization will occur at the inlet to the pump, which would further lead to the possibility of cavitation, Please note, if the suction height is more than what is given by this equation, if the suction height in case of your installation, if the suction height is more than what is given by this equation, then there will be vaporization of the liquid at the inlet to the pump, and this will lead to the formation of the vapor bubbles, and due to the formation of the vapor bubbles, there will be the tendency of the cavitation. So to avoid the cavitation, or to ensure the cavitation free working of the centrifugal pump, the suction height should always be less than what is given by this maximum suction lift. Okay, I think it is clear to you all. Now please note, another important parameter is their net positive suction head. Let us observe net positive suction head. It is very important parameter in case of centrifugal pump terminology. The net positive suction head, let's observe please. The net positive suction head for a centrifugal pump. Sometimes the minimum suction conditions are specified by net positive suction head or NPSH. The minimum suction conditions are sometimes specified in terms of net positive suction head or NPSH, abbreviated as NPSH. First of all, I will define NPSH, and then I will give you expressions for the required and available NPSH. Please note, what is the meaning of NPSH? The NPSH, net positive suction head, has been defined as the absolute pressure head at inlet to the pump at point 1. This is the point 1. Please note, this is the point 1 at the inlet to the pump, at the exit of the suction pipe, or at the inlet to the pump, point 1. So the absolute pressure head at point 1, plus the kinetic head or velocity head at point 1, the dynamic head at point 1, minus vapor pressure head. This is what the net positive suction head. This indicates the total head. At the inlet to the pump. This is the total head at the inlet to the pump minus vapor pressure head will give us the net positive suction head. I am again repeating, net positive suction head is defined as NPSH equals to the absolute pressure head at point 1. Point 1 is at the inlet to the pump, plus Vs square by 2G, the kinetic head or velocity head at point 1, at the same point, minus vapor pressure head in absolute units. This is the NPSH. Now please note, in the previous lecture, we derived the expression for PA1 by rho g as, since P1 by rho g is given by, please note, in the last class we derived the expression atmospheric pressure head minus Vs square by, we replace V1 with Vs. Over here, please note, this was the expression for P1 by rho g, Patm by rho g minus Vs square by 2G plus Hs plus HFS. Now we need to put the value of P1 by rho g simply over here. Then this would give us NPSH equals to P ATM by rho g minus Vs square by 2g minus Hs minus Hfs. This is the whole P1 by rho g plus Vs square by 2g minus Pv by rho g. Now this NPSH would become net positive suction head. Net positive suction head would become Vs and Vs are cancelled out. PATM by rho g minus Hs plus Hfs plus Pv by rho g. This is the simple expression. This is the simple expression for this. Or you can take this. You can write directly without using the brackets minus Pv by rho g minus Hs minus Hfs. This is the expression for net positive suction head. Please note what I have done. I am again repeating. I have simply defined the NPSH. The net positive suction head is defined as the sum of absolute pressure head at point 1 plus velocity head at point 1 minus the vapor pressure head. This is the net positive suction head by definition. I have simply put the value of P1 by rho g in this expression. The P1 by rho g was derived in the last lecture, and this P1 by rho g has been put over here. By this we got net positive suction head is equals to this PATM by rho g minus PV by rho g minus Hs minus Hfs. Now this is the expression for net positive suction head. Now I am going to define over here an important parameter, that is Thomas cavitation parameter. Thomas cavitation factor or parameter. Cavitation, some books write as parameters, some of the book write as factor or factor. Thomas cavitation factor denoted by sigma. Thomas cavitation factor or parameter denoted by sigma. The Thomas cavitation parameter sigma is written by formula NPSH divided by manometric head H. NPSH over H, which would give us sigma is NPSH. We derived the expression for NPSH as PATM by rho g minus PV by rho g minus Hs minus Hfs. We just derived the expression for NPSH divided by H. This is the Thomas cavitation parameter. This is the Thomas cavitation parameter. And another parameter is defined, that is critical cavitation parameter. Critical cavitation parameter. These are by definition the critical cavitation parameter sigma c. The critical cavitation parameter sigma c is defined as sigma c is equals to, please note, within this expression what I am going to do, PATM upon rho g minus PV by rho g is replaced by P1 by rho g simply. Actual pressure head at point 1, P1 by rho g. Now Hs minus Hfs divided by H. This is the critical cavitation parameter. Now observe these two parameters. This is the Thomas cavitation parameter NPSH over H, and when in NPSH PV by rho g is replaced by P1 by rho g, then it would become Thomas cavitation parameter. Now I ask you an important question, very easy question. What will be the relation between the two for cavitation free operation of the centrifugal pump? What will be the relation between sigma and sigma c? I'm asking you, what will be the relation between sigma and sigma c in order to ensure that the cavitation does not occur? So please note, please think. I think that for cavitation not to occur, sigma must be greater than sigma c. Because for cavitation not to occur, P1 by rho g should be more than PV by rho g. We have already discussed the pressure head at point 1 should be more than the vapor pressure head for cavitation not to occur. So for cavitation not to occur, this P1 by rho g should be more than PV by rho g. And since if P1 by rho g is more than PV by rho g, then this parameter sigma c would be less than sigma. Please note, for cavitation not to occur, this pressure head at point 1 should be more than the vapor pressure head. P1 by rho g should be more than PV by rho g. P1 by rho g should be more than PV by rho g for cavitation not to occur. And if P1 by rho g is more than PV by rho g, then this parameter sigma c would be less than sigma. Therefore, the cavitation parameter, the Thomas cavitation parameter, must be more than critical cavitation parameter sigma c in order to ensure cavitation-free operation of the centrifugal pump. Okay. So this sigma should be as far as possible. This sigma should be as large as possible. So in order to sigma to be as large as possible, this HS should be as small as possible. So for cavitation not to occur, sigma should be more than sigma c, or this sigma should be as large as possible. For sigma to be as large as possible, HS should be small as small as possible. So in some installations, you will observe that the pump is set up below the liquid level at the sump. The pump is set up even below the liquid level inside the sump, so that this HS is even negative. Please note what I am saying. Try to observe. For cavitation not to occur, this sigma should be as large as possible. For sigma to be as large as possible, HS should be as minimum as possible or as small as possible. So in some cases, some installations, you will observe that the pump is installed below the liquid level inside the sump. The pump is installed even below the liquid level inside the sump, so that this HS becomes negative and sigma is as large as possible. Clear? So for cavitation free operation, sigma should be more than the critical cavitation parameter. Now in some of the books, one more important concept is there, that is required NPSH and available NPSH. Please note a difference between the two. This required NPSH is given by, this required NPSH is specified by the manufacturer itself. After testing and observations or experimentations, the value of the required NPSH is specified by the manufacturer. The required NPSH is specified by the manufacturer by testing the parameter or by repeating the various experiments. So this is the required NPSH, which is specified by the manufacturer. And the available NPSH is calculated by the equation. Once the pump has been installed, it is calculated by the equation. That is NPSH equals to, we have derived the expression, please note, NPSH equals to what we derived in the P1 by rho g, P ATM by rho g minus HS plus HFS plus PV by rho g, by this. So it is calculated by the equation which we have seen. Now for cavitation free operation, the available NPSH should be more than the required NPSH. Please note, the required NPSH is specified by the manufacturer itself after conducting a number of tests and experiments on the pump. And the available NPSH is calculated by the equation which we have derived. Once the pump has been installed, the available NPSH is calculated by using the equation which we have derived. Now, for cavitation free operation, this available NPSH should be more than the required NPSH. For cavitation free operation of the pump, the available NPSH should be more than the required NPSH. Okay, thank you.